The Wednesday kicks off with the Neptune Investment Management Hurdle, 2 mile 5 furlongs, and it's a case once again of trying to work out what's going to run. I think Phineas Oscar will end up being favourite for this race and will run in this race. Impressive winner of the Tolworth, won an egg and spoon race at Exeter last, I think he was 16 on. Neon Wolf is a horse that stands out to me simply because the day he won at Haydock, I went that day, and it was just about the biggest gamble I can remember this season. We had to pay out plenty, I can assure you. There was no bonus that week. I think it was about 7-2 the night before. Got on the train, he was 9-4. Got to the course, he was 7-4. I think he returned 4-5, and he was going away from them at the end. And that was Elgin, who'd put a few good horses in their place earlier in the season. But the one I like is Mezzi Desobo, who, although he got beat finally at Huntingdon last time, he had to give the winner Kepper Hill £8. And like you were saying earlier when we were chatting, Bill, the King horses do seem to be campaigned slightly differently this year. I think you were saying you like Mezzi Desobo as well.
Yeah, I do. I think he's very solid. I think he's, the front two will only run here if the ground is not really soft on the first day. If you get a soft ground opening day, I'd be very surprised if Neon Wolf isn't in the Supreme. And actually, Phineas Oscar, if you're going to trace the soft ground, they might go for the Supreme as well. I like Mezzi Desobo on the same basis you've said. I think they've been campaigned differently. I think the last run was really, really solid. He's a Grade 1 winner. I know Phineas Oscar is, but he won the Cello. I think he's pretty bomb-proof, and I think he'll run really well.
Tanya? Agreement? Disagreement?
Disagreement to some extent. Phineas Oscar does concern me. His run at Exeter was woeful. That's in my opinion, because he was 16 on. And he beat Tours, who is a horse that participates in all those flat staying handicaps, and the Queen Alexandra and the Goodwood 2 mile 5 race. So in theory, needs 4 miles, and Phineas Oscar was at 16 on, not so much struggling, but didn't beat it impressively in any way. Little Tours just kept sort of biting at its hooves, which isn't a good thing. Seeing that,
Luke on the little Luke
he'd won a Tolworth previously, so the expectation was enormous. So I just want to put a line through Phineas Oscar, look towards Neon Wolf, where that Rossington main victory at Haydock, even taking out of consideration the gamble on it, the way that he raced away from Elgin certainly impressed me. So he's very good, but I want to look towards a horse trained by Ben Pauling, who's had a phenomenal season so far. And this is Willoughby Court, who won his maiden hurdle in December at Warwick, returned to Warwick and ran, whether it be the race or the actual meeting that the new one did before he went on to win his race at the festival. But in the process, he beat Peregrine Run, which I thought was a really good performance, but he was racing away at the end at Warwick, and at that time of the year the ground at Warwick is really holding and testing, and I was taken by Willoughby Court, and he's another option at a bigger price.
Well, you can tell we're in England, we've managed to avoid all the Irish horses, so we'll leave that all to all that lot. But Luke, I mean, the one horse I think does deserve mention is Augusta Cape, who was cantering last time when coming down behind Death Duty, who Gordon Elliott makes no bones about how good he thinks he is. Luke, are you in the English camp? Are you in the Irish camp? Bacardi's, perhaps?
I'm definitely in the English camp. I mean, Death Duty, Bacardi's, they're staying horses. They look as though they're going to go Albert Bartlett to me. And I think Willoughby Court, I hope he goes Albert Bartlett in a way, because he looks like a stare to me. Phineas Oscar, I can see exactly where Tanya's coming from. They're messy, those small runner fields. And so he wasn't very impressive. I think ultimately, if you had to own a horse, he's a horse I'd like to own for the future. I'm not sure he's quite ready for Cheltenham this year. Neon Wolf I much prefer. But the one horse, and I pray that Nigel Twiston-Davies changes his mind and runs Ballyandy. He'll be the only horse in history that's won bumpers that doesn't want to trip. I honestly think that the Supreme will be too sharp for him. They'll have too much boot. I know he looked impressive in the Betfair. He's well handicapped.
Well, you're ultimately a face in the industry now, Luke. You've really come on. From the days at Plumpton.
This really should be an industry. I don't know.
You get down there and you tell Nigel. You tell him he's running it.
I'm not sure they'll listen to me either. But no, look, I
always thought Nigel was a judge. I wouldn't listen to you either.
Bill saying about Mezzi Desobo, I don't think there'll be a tougher horse running at the festival.
No,
he's hard as nails, but you always get that feeling he's a bit vulnerable. just by something with a bit more toe, and I think Ballyandy would be that horse.
Right, okay. Selection time then, Tanya.
It'd have to be Neon Wolf, but the outside option will be Court, but as Luke said, he could be going elsewhere.
William?
I will go Mezia de Zobo, just because I think he's pretty solid. Left field, if he does run, there's an Irish horse here called Monolly, trained by Henry de Bromhead.
I like how left field's 14-1.
Well,
don't bite, it's okay.
I'll bite you afterwards. The thing I like about Monolly, I think he'll actually end up in the Albert Bartlett, but I think he is a horse that's gradually been brought to the boil. He was slam beaten by Death Duty early in the season.
That was the race with Invitation.
But he looked really good next time, and I think he's coming. I like him for the Albert Bartlett, but if he turned up here, I think he'd have a chance.
Ballyandy is definitely the selection. If Nigel, please Nigel, don't. If he does go supreme, it's going to be Neon Wolf.
Okay, and I'm in the Mezia de Zobo camp as well. I really like him. But whatever you back in the Neptune, good luck. We're at the festival. We know where we are. We're in the ring. We're on the rails. We're in the members area. Come and find us and come and have a bet. And we'll make sure you're well looked after.